Welcome to Kids Church. Answer me this, have you had a good week? I hope so. Are you ready for Kids Church today? I hope the answer is yes. And here's a question. What are you thankful for? Because we've been learning that God is faithful and we have lots to thank God for, haven't we? So have a wee think for a couple of seconds. What would you thank God for today? Well, I can think of something. Think about your families and the people who look after you. Isn't that something to thank God for? And we have especially something to thank God for, because I'm sure most of you have found out by now that in the middle of this week we welcomed a new member to our Kids Church family. Our family's growing too in Kids Church. So we want to welcome little baby. I have to get my sheet here because she's so precious that she's got lots of names and I can't remember them all yet. Rosie Abigail Bethany Stitt. Isn't that a lovely name? Rosie Abigail Bethany Stitt, and she's our newest member to the Kids Church family. And real congratulations to Colin and Laura and Caleb and Joshua. I know you two boys are going to be the most fantastic big brothers. So I couldn't go and get some party poppers because, you know, they're not essential and we're not allowed to get anything that's not essential anymore. So I don't know if this is going to work, but woohoo! Ticker tape parade for our wee Rosie. So congratulations and welcome baby Rosie. Now, as a special treat this week, we have two boys who worked really hard to learn their memory verses, and they've sent me in videos of themselves saying their memory verses, and we're going to watch that video now. So well done to Jensen and Caleb. I love your work. Well done, and hopefully everyone will learn the memory verse, the new one for this month as well. And maybe we could do this again at the end of the month when everyone else has learned the verses. Be great to see more people send me in their videos, and we'll put it up on Kids Church on YouTube. After you watch this wee video, then there's going to be the story, and it's the same story. It's like a revision from what we did on Zoom last week, so that'll be quite good because you already have heard the story last week whenever I told it to you, and then you can look at the cartoon version this week and enjoy that. And then we've got the memory verse. Kelly's going to do that with you, and then I'll be back at the end because I'm going to ask you a few questions, because you'll have learned the story twice by then, and I think you should be able to answer some questions on it. So after everything that you watch, I'll be back at the end, and you watch really carefully the story, because then you'll be able to answer the questions on it. Okay, so sit back, enjoy the boys saying the memory verse, and we've got a special guest appearance from little Rosie, so that'll be nice. And just enjoy it. And while you're watching, just be thankful for all of our friends and family on Kids Church and how God is growing it as well. So enjoy, and I'll see you at the end.
Go.
If we are unfaithful, God remains faithful, because he cannot be untrue to himself. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13.
Go.
If we are unfaithful, God remains faithful, because he cannot be untrue to himself. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 13.
Brilliant.
And here is the lovely Rosie herself. Welcome baby Rosie, and a very proud Caleb there, big brother, and a very proud Joshua as well, meeting her for the first time. Congratulations.
When Abraham was old and his son Isaac was grown, Abraham wanted to find a wife for Isaac. He said to his servant, "Go to the land of my relatives and find a wife for my son." The servant agreed to go. He took with him 10 of Abraham's camels and all kinds of gifts. When he got to the land, he went to a well. It was evening, and he knew the women from the town would soon come to the well to get water. The servant wanted to find the right wife for Isaac, so he prayed, "God, help me find a wife for Isaac. I will ask a girl for a drink of water. If she is the one Isaac should marry, let her also give water to my camels." When the servant looked up, he saw Rebekah. She was beautiful and had never been married. The servant asked her for a drink of water. "Drink," she said. "I will also give water to your camels." Abraham's servant watched Rebekah. When the camels had enough water, the servant gave Rebekah a gold ring and 2 bracelets. "Whose daughter are you?" he asked. Rebekah said, "I am the daughter of Bethuel." The servant asked to stay at her father's house. Then the servant praised God for providing a wife for Isaac. Rebekah ran home and told her family what had happened. Rebekah's brother, Laban, invited Abraham's servant into their home. The family set a meal before the servant, but he did not want to eat. "First, let me tell you why I am here," he said. The servant told them about Abraham and Isaac and how God showed him that Rebekah should be Isaac's wife. Rebekah's family believed that God wanted Rebekah to be Isaac's wife. The servant brought out gifts for Rebekah and her family. The next day, Rebekah went with Abraham's servant to the land of Canaan. In the evening, Isaac was walking in the field when he saw the camels coming. Rebekah got down from her camel and covered herself with her veil. The servant told Isaac everything that had happened. Isaac married Rebekah and loved her. God provided Rebekah as a wife for Isaac as part of his covenant to bless the whole world through Abraham's family. One day, Jesus would be born into Abraham's family as the promised Savior.
Hello everyone. Our memory verse that we learned last week by playing the ball game and hopscotch. I hope you had fun with that because I did. So for this week I thought we could make a puzzle with the memory verse because, well, I think we all love to do puzzles, right? So what you're going to need is some paper or card, a pen or a pencil or a marker or a crayon, and some scissors. First of all, you need to write the memory verse on the paper or card. And if you write it pretty big so that it fills the full A4 sheet, it'll make it a lot better. Next, take your scissors and start cutting. So just cut it into just different size pieces. Doesn't matter if they're not even, because that's the whole point of a puzzle. So here's one that I have already done. Okay, so let's turn it round. I have put down another sheet of the same size paper just to give me a guide, to make it easier. Well, I hope it makes it easier. So let's see if we can put this together. And you need to remember the verse, in what order it goes in for this all to fit together. Now, this is difficult. I think this is the beginning. We know that. We know. Okay, let's put them all out together. So that's the idea. If you can put it all back together like this until we end up with this again. You can make it a competition with your family. Let's see who can do it the fastest and who can learn it the fastest as well. So I hope you have fun learning and making this memory verse puzzle. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.
Well, hope you enjoyed the story this week. Hope you listened really well, and I hope you're ready for your questions. You don't need to worry about putting your hand up because you're just in your own home, so you can shout the answers out as loud as you like. Unless you're Joshua and Caleb, because you might have a baby sleeping in the house. So you need to just ask your mum and dad how loud you're allowed to shout. Okay, are you ready? Number 1. What was the father's name in this story? Shout it out. Hope you got it right. It was Abraham, wasn't it? Number 2. What was the son's name in the story? Shout it out. It was Isaac, wasn't it? Good. What was it time for Isaac to do? It was time for him to get married, wasn't it? And I had to look for a wife for Isaac. Good, well done. What is it, Lucy? You can't be in everything every week. You don't have to be in the quiz. Oh, all right. Lucy wants to have a part in the quiz, so she's going to give you the clue for the next question. Honest to goodness. Seriously, is that what you're wearing? Okay. Right, I'm so sorry for my dog, but here's the next question, and this is Lucy giving a clue for you for the next question. The question is, how did the servant travel to the other country to look for a wife for Isaac? How did the servant travel? And here is my crazy dog in her outfit for your clue. What would you do with her? I don't know. Well, I hope you got that from that clue and Lucy's wonderful outfit, that the servant travelled on a camel. Okay? Right, well done. Thank you, Lucy. Here's the next one. Yep. What did the servant do as soon as he got off his camel? He had a decision to make and he didn't know what decision to make. Sure he didn't. As soon as he got off his camel, what did he do? And we said that this should be the first thing that we think to do off whenever we have decisions to make. So what did he do as soon as he got off his camel? And the answer is, he prayed to God, didn't he? Asked God for help. Good. While he was still praying to God, what happened? This is the best part of the story. Even while he was still praying, God was doing something amazing. God was answering his prayer before he even said amen, wasn't it? I hope you got that. Rebecca came along to the well. Very good. And then you know that she gave him a drink and offered the drink to his camels. And the servant was so thankful that he praised God, and he went with Rebecca to see her family. Here's the next question. Did Rebecca's family agree to let her marry Isaac? Yes or no? Hope you got the answer is yes. Of course they did. They agreed. And but they wanted Rachel to do something first. Do you remember? I don't think it said in today's cartoon story, but last week we talked about it. What did the family want Rachel to do first? Did you get that they wanted her to stay for a week and say goodbye before she went off to a foreign country? That's what happened. Rachel then decided not to wait for a week and say goodbye. And then what did her and the servant do? What did they get back on? Remember Lucy's quiz? Yep, they got back on their camels and away they went. And when they got back, who did they see in the field? It was Isaac, isn't that right? And Rebecca met Isaac, and the lovely end to our love story of Isaac and Rebecca. What did the Bible say about Isaac? How did he feel about Rebecca? Hope you got that. The Bible said that he loved her. He really loved her. So, well done. And we will have a prayer just before we all go. And I hope you really enjoyed today's kids' church. It was quite a happy one today, wasn't it? With our new arrival and our memory verses and our quiz and our new memory verse from Kelly. So hope you had a good kids' church, and we'll just pray now and thank God for it all, and we'll see you again next week. Heavenly Father, thank you for your word and for the way you speak to us through it. And we just thank you for what we've heard this week in Kids Church. We thank you, Father, for our families and our friends. And we just thank you for Kids Church as well. And Father, we just especially thank you for the safe arrival of baby Rosie, our newest member to Kids Church. And Father, we just pray that this week you'll help us to think about you first and remember you in all that we do. And Father, we just pray that in everything that we do, we will do it first and foremost for you. We ask all of this in Jesus' precious name. Amen. Have a good week, guys, and we'll see you next week.
You are the light that's beautiful.